Welcome to Inspiring Teachers, a show bringing you classroom tips, motivation, and stories from successful educators. Join Tavis Beam and Danny Hogger as they explore the why.
And welcome to episode 100 of Inspiring Teachers. Tavis Beam joining me remotely. What's up, Tavis?
Hey, it's good to see you, Danny.
It's good to see you too. Wow, 100 episodes in 2 years.
That's amazing.
Been so fun. And if you're just joining us, you have a plethora, an amazing assortment of episodes and teachers from all over the world to check out. And today is no different. Andre Doughty, this is a special time to meet you. Welcome to episode 100. He's a dope educator. He gave me that intro. I'm not trying to be cooler than I am. I'm just reading his words there, He's a content creator from Oklahoma City. He's got over 20 years in the education game, helping others to see different perspectives. He's really funny. I like his sense of humor. I like how he brings video to education. Andre, thanks so much for joining us.
Man, thanks for having me. Appreciate it, fellas.
Yeah. It's so great to talk to you across the span of our country. First guest from Oklahoma City. Did you start your education career there? How'd you get rolling down the path of teaching?
Oh, yeah. So born and raised in Oklahoma City, man. Based on what I can remember from my grandparents and other family members telling me, my entire family kind of migrated here from Louisiana back during the Indian Territory days, and freed slaves and runaway slaves kind of found some safe land in Oklahoma. So Oklahoma had a very large Black population before it became statehood. And so that's about as far as I can trace it back as far as my lineage. So born and raised right here in Oklahoma City, man, and love every bit of it. It's not what you think. Most people think Oklahoma's cowboys and Native Americans and you know those games we used to play, and it's not that at all, man. It's not. Now there are some cowboys though. Let me make that clear.
They're there.
Further away from the city, right?
Yeah, we still rock Wranglers and boots in around here, but not everywhere, man. Yeah.
What is your why for teaching? Because you've spanned everything from elementary to grad level. What is it that brought you to education? I know just from watching a few of your videos, you've got a dynamic personality. You seem like a fun-loving person, but what is it that led you down that road? You have so many skills that could translate to many fields.
Oh, absolutely. So I was a kid in the class, always making beats with the mouth. If I had a pencil or a pen, that was my snare drum. If my hand was the bass on the table, making beats, songs, scatting. And then I had a teacher one day said, "You're always scatting. We perhaps need to see you in band." So I got in band, and little did I know I was very talented, play 8 instruments. And so just because that one teacher saw a gift in me way back then, of course, you got to cultivate the gift. And of course, you practice and whatnot. But that teacher also helped me get a band scholarship to the only HBCU in Oklahoma, the only historically Black college university called Langston University. And so I got a band scholarship to Langston University. I was going to be a band director just like he was. But instead, I realized that I didn't have my first Black male teacher until his class in middle school. So I wanted to reverse that. I wanted to inspire others just like he did me. So I became an elementary teacher, and I was going to use those same band ideas, those same musical techniques and strategies, and do it inside of a class. And that's exactly what I did. Before rap got popular inside of curriculum, before people were giving daps and high fives and all of that walking in the door, I was doing that like in 2000. I just didn't have a video camera. I realized that the kids could rap. And I realized that the kids love movement and dance and stuff. And so that's a perfect avenue for the musical skills that I had. And that's exactly what we did.
It sounds like you were a real pioneer in this area. How did your coworkers take that?
Oh, yeah. So the first 2 years, they were like, "Hey, can you just turn it down a little bit? Just a little bit." Because, think about it. An engaging class isn't always silent. It isn't always quiet. And I use music with everything. And I mean everything. So we would rap, chant, scream, yell. It would sound like we were not engaged and off task. And when visitors would come, they'd be like, "Well, we can't go in that class," until they actually went in that class and realized that all the students were active. I apologized almost every week to the teachers. And because it was two things, like they were still learning and they were doing things in their great way, But a lot of those kids were starting to get jealous of my students because they're like, man, your class is fun. Like, I want to do the raps too.
Yeah,
I want, And so we had to have some of those conversations of like, when is it? And there were times that I had to turn it down or turn it off because I didn't want to offend other teachers. And there were other times that the entire grade level just ended up learning the chats because it was helping anyway. It's curriculum.
Nice.
Right.
That's great.
So by the end of the year, several different classes were able to do some of the raps and some of the chants that would help inside of learning as well.
Wow, that's really neat. And that the other students led that, and they wanted to learn the chants. And
Oh, well, it's happenstance. Think about it. Think of all the times that you walk down a hall and you sing a song or you have a song in your head. It was just like that. Imagine 50 Cent. And at that time, 50 Cent was really, really popular. Jay-Z, really, really popular. So instead of saying those lyrics to his raps, you're saying lyrics to like a noun or a verb or the different types of ways to perspective of an author, like imagine some of these curriculum and these students are saying it at lunch, in the hallway, in the restroom, on the bus. And so it continued to just trickle down to everybody. Funniest thing was hearing a kindergartner who could barely say the words, but was rapping the chant. And I was like, now that's what I'm talking about right there. Like, that's dope. It was so cool.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
That's awesome stuff. Is there a subject, a song, or a video that you would like to point people to as one of your favorite examples of how this moves?
I don't know if I actually. So here's the funny thing. That was before everything went online. Mm-hmm. That was before the internet blew up.
So it just happened in the classroom.
I thought I had lost all of those chants, all of the raps, and I lost quite a few. But I came upon a CD, literally a CD of like 9 of the chants that we used to do in class. And so I was like, oh my goodness, like I found gold because I was for sure that I lost it. And so I put it on Facebook with a friend of mine who used to also do raps and chants too. And I was like, man, you remember these days? And all the students, of course, who are now older and adults, they were like, man, you gotta play that CD. Like, you gotta put it on YouTube. I haven't yet, but that is something I'm really considering now just because it helped us way back in the day. Yeah. It's the same type of curriculum. I wonder if it could help today's students as well.
Yeah, totally.
I bet you some of your old students probably remember chants that you don't even remember that you could get from them.
That'd be fun.
Absolutely. It reminds me, and music really plays a factor. I mean, you think about it. If I were to ask you all right now, what is the 18th letter of the alphabet? You're not going to be able to remember it immediately. Oh. You're probably going to start singing the song and counting it because it jogs a memory. Well, that's the same way here. There's a song right now. If I were to hear In the Club by 50 Cent right now, I am not going to start singing 50's lyrics. I'm going to sing the chant from the time that we created that song. Or Beyonce's Irreplaceable is not going to be called Irreplaceable. It's called Decimal. And so I see that the same way with the students. It'll jog their memory once when they hear that first strum, to the left, to the left.
There you go. What a great point.
Yeah.
See, that was a punctuation joke. Andre, you're also big into getting educators as a consultant to see different perspectives. Tell me what that means to you and why that's so important and why we could all have that in our minds before we head into the classroom every day.
Yeah. Perspective is everything. I saw an image once, and the image had two people in this cartoon, and on the ground was the number 6. But from this perspective, the person saw the number 9. From the other perspective, the person saw the number 6. And you could tell that they had some discourse, like it's a 6, no, it's a 9. Well, it depends on the perspective. And that's the exact same thing right now. There's a lot of students coming inside of our classrooms who just have a different perspective because they are seeing it from a different way. And it's the same with our teachers. There are some teachers who walk inside the classroom and they are teaching students who just have a different perspective because they were raised, because they taught, because they learned it a different way. So in order to teach all the students, we're not teaching them what to think, we're teaching them how to think. And so you've got to be able to give them different perspectives because you're not teaching them what to think, you're teaching them how to think.
Absolutely, man. That's so well put. My first day of class, I show a series of ambiguous images that look like a rabbit or a, wood, depending on how you look. And then I tell everyone that they're all right. And then if we're all right about that, then we can all be right for different reasons on everything. And that's where I start day one with history teaching. So,
Right.
man, that is so good. And
I love illustrations like that anyway, especially like those optical illusions. You look at the plate long enough, and then the plate looks like it's inverted, but I love images like that because once again, it's teaching perspective.
Totally.
Yeah. And another way I've seen that framed, rather than perspective, is to talk about the stories that we tell, the stories of our lives, the stories that we are integrated with that we just think of as fact, until we really start to step outside of those stories and realize that my story is different than your story because of your background and the way you grow up. And I just really like that way of framing it.
It's good.
And that makes such a big difference because, there's too much research out there that talks about the more diverse a staff is, the more that the students benefit from it, no matter if the students are title students or if it's an all black school or all white school. Like, it doesn't matter. However many diverse teachers are in there, all those students are learning because they're learning about their cultures. They're learning about their style. To me, I may say the word dope. You all may not say that word dope, but then they understand the style and the phrasing and when to say it or when not to say it. And all of those things really play into perspective.
Yeah, it's enriching when we can all see more and more. We can think more and more. That's very cool. Yeah. Very cool. Andre,
a topic that comes to my mind really quick on that are hats in the classroom. Because I know a lot of old school teachers who like, this is disrespectful to the room, to the teacher. And then somebody more from my generation, when I was going through an education program at UC Santa Cruz, there were student teachers that were wearing hats in the classroom and no one cared. And so it really does illustrate the idea of it is disrespectful to those people. But me, I don't even see a hat when a student's wearing it. It doesn't even faze me.
And then just the piggybacking off of that, in the Black church, a hat was a show of fashion. Right. I'm sure you've seen images of the mothers of the church or the grandmothers of the church, and they have like these big hats with the feathers and the buttons and the sequins, and it's a show of fashion, showing like, look, I've made it here this week. I was hurting all week, but look at me here, still standing strong. And so for me, I enjoy wearing hats. My hat used to match my bow tie when I went out because it was a show of fashion. But there were some people in Oklahoma, we have lots of military families here, and to them, the hat it's a no-go inside of a building. But they never understood the perspective. The hat is just as much as fashion as a bracelet, as a necklace. But until you have those conversations, you'll never really know. So in my class, wear a hoodie. Yeah. I am not afraid of it. I'm not scared of it. Now, to other people, a hoodie may look like a thug. Not in here. No, put on you cold and that's all you have on. Your hoodie is supposed to protect your ears. It is not fashion. It is not to show that you're scary. And so once again, without having that perspective in your class, you just don't know.
And in the faculty lounge, and when we're talking about dress code, this becomes really a point of contention. Because I've had co-teachers say it makes them look like thugs. Yep. And my response was, it makes them look like monks to me. So it all depends on how you look at it.
And then there's the deeper conversation. What I really love about this time here, because we're in a really good time history-wise. We are bringing forth conversations that have been hidden, that have been scared to be approached for one reason or another. And these conversations are happening everywhere, in Zoom calls, online, in Google Meet, on Twitter, on Insta, on Snap. Like, these conversations that we've been wanting to have, and we were afraid of the discourse, like we're having them now, because there are some people who still will believe that if you wear a hoodie, you got to be in a game.
Right.
And I'm like, that is the furthest thing from the truth. You play basketball, you got to have on a hoodie because that is your warm-up outfit. But a lot of people may not know that. So this is where the education and the difference of perspectives really come into play.
Absolutely.
Wonderful conversation. I think the big takeaway from this whole episode is don't shy away from a conversation that can lead us all to understanding more.
Yeah.
So, Andre, that's awesome. If you want to see what Andre's talking about online, go to @AndreDaughty. We'll put the profile up on the screen for you. Thanks so much, man. We got to have you on again and talk about another topic in particular, but love what you're doing and love the messages you're bringing to the world. Thanks so much.
Man, really appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Well, everybody, it's been 100 episodes, and there's so much more, so don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and check out ampeduplearning.com for all of our content and my book, Secrets. Don't forget. I'll just put it on the screen. Doesn't matter. Tavis Beam, Andre Daughty, Danny Hogger. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you later.
Thanks so much.
All right.